Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So while we're waiting for grinding all that XP for those 2 manifest battles, hopefully we'll have them all done by tomorrow. This is a summary of all the different things that I've gathered in the last 2 weeks. Now if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it. Also, I do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. So just a few thoughts about obviously grinding dungeons as well as farming for treaty seas and so on and so forth. Currently I'm actually alternating between a number of different dungeons, which you'll see in this video. I am going through, I just finished Xeno Domain, only because I did get enough for 10 tomes for both Inspector as well as for Agent. And now I've moved on to Riftbreaker to farm for Mariel as well as Yifa's tomes. And finally, I'm going on to Snake Liver Damaku to finish up for extra Jin tombs for Mayumva, as well as more Shadow for Gildna. Now, if you guys haven't caught any of the new updates from Japan, realize that at 80 Light or Shadow, you do get another break in terms of a benefit with the new system. So watch for that. Okay, let's go with the balloons and finish off this run. And let's see what we get. And we visit the Cape instead. I know that some of you did want to see some failures from my PCD runs, and so I did want to show you that just to show you that I'm at times just as unlucky as the rest of you and don't always make it to the end. I do actually record hundreds and hundreds of different clips, and I'll only show the best ones. So there's actually tons of failures along the way as well. So that being said, yeah, make sure if you are grinding for light or shadow for your units, especially the story characters, make sure you go for at least 80 light or shadow because, like I said, in Japan, they announced that at breakdowns of, I believe, 80, you get an extra skill slot. And then after that, you know, there's further breakdowns after that. But for most of us, you know, even as a gacha, probably 80 is at most you can get. And of course, it just goes up from there and there. So make sure you check out the Reddit for another Eden. They did mention some of the updates coming up in Japan. So as a result, you know, make sure you grind those characters. I would highly recommend going for Aldo as well as Gildna. You know, if you've seen some videos of me using Gildna or even Aldo, Aldo's great in the fact that he's still, like I showed you in my last revisited 5-star review, he's still moderately useful. He's got his specialized Grasta, Fire / AoE, and he is a light battery, and which is great. He's pretty easy to grind, and Minglin's Castle actually has a lot of different tomes, you know, to gather while farming for his light. And for Shadow, of course, Gildna seems to be the character of choice, although of course Garyu is equally as good, being that if you're at the end game and grinding green keys, Antiquity Garulina Dungeons is where it's at. And you can see there's one additional one right there. I haven't gone back to present day Garulia only because I do have a zombie at about 90 something light, and so like I said, she passed the 80 threshold. I might go back to grinding her in the future, but for the time being I really want to get you know, all those characters that I mentioned to higher light. In this case, we got Helena's Shadow from 49 to 50, and so you saw the breakdown in getting extra stats. And of course, the next stat breakdown will be at 75, in which case she'll get MP plus 60. Being that she is still considered a mage, hey, more MP is great, and you know, the more stats you get, even better. I used to really think that Helena was great, especially in the very beginning when I first played Global last January. I mean, she was essentially the only grindable shadow at that time. And so, you know, I did spend some time in grinding her even as a 4-star, especially since Riftbreaker Very Hard had at the time the best materials that you could get to farm in order to, you know, create or craft those best armor. So remember, if you haven't gone there yet, because a lot of you may have started a lot later and haven't gone back to Riftbreaker Very Hard, try to gather all those different materials and you know, craft at least one of each gear and weapon in order to get the maximum amount of different weapons and armor to unlock those you know, next I guess those gold awards for collections. I think there's gold awards for, like, for example, 30 different axes or 40 different staffs, and I think there's total amount of weapons, either armor or gear, you know, so watch for those as well. Now, another thing I want to think about is in terms of grinding for chance, now if you're really at the end game, something to keep in mind. Now, like I've mentioned many times in videos in the past, if you run all your red keys, each red key gives you approximately 1.5% chance of getting 1 chance script per run. And so if you multiply that by 66 times, you'll get approximately 100%. So, most people get 4 keys a day. And so 66 is just over 2 weeks. And so I always estimate around 1 to 2 chance per month just from red keys alone. Now, bear in mind that there is a random chance, of course, of finishing a PCD, which obviously boosts your monthly chance scripts for the month. However, if you are at the end game for Garrelay, either Antiquity or Present, bear in mind that if you do go through the chest areas, the ones that have 4 chests as opposed to gathering those junk or the bones or whatever, each 2 of those 4 chests have a 0.75% chance of getting a chance script as well. And so if you think about it that way, and you happen to be lucky enough to hit 3 chest areas in a run, that's 4.5% chance, and you get that twice a day for a total of like 9% chance. So if you run it like that, you can see that the chance can actually pile up for that. Literally, the chance of getting chance. So you can see there's one right there. So highly recommend you to gather those treasure chests in Garrelia. I mean, you do only get 4 green keys, and so like I said, obviously the number of rooms that you run into that have treasure chests will vary greatly. So even at the very least, at 2 each time, that's 6%, 6 times around 16 tries, which is, you get 2 tries a day. That's almost 1 in every 8 days if you break down the math. And I realize, again, standard deviation, variance in odds, obviously all that comes into play. But if you really think about that, 1 every 8 days plus 2 per month from the red keys, I mean, you're talking anywhere from 4 to 6 chance per month. And so when you say that I get a ton of chance, yeah, I do definitely get quite a few chance, and some of you will say I get more than the average, but I think it's also partially at least due to the fact that at the end game I've been grinding for Garrelia Antiquity and just happened to hit, wow, another chance script from Snake Liver. That is great. So this is my 2nd chance script this month, which is very nice. Always useful, especially since if you've seen my videos, I have been upgrading Kikyo as well as Elga. I mean, moving forward, I actually have to plan for a lot of different units that I have to upgrade to 5-star or AS, and I actually counted 8 additional units, which accounts for at least 40 chance spoken for the next few months. If you're wondering who I'm thinking about, there's going to be AS Foreign, AS Sukiya, AS Hozuki, AS Leclerc, because her manifest is amazing. There's going to be AS Yuen. Jade is a 5-star that's free that you do have to spend 5 chance on. There were a couple others that I can't remember offhand, but that's I remember counting 8 total. So for those who are wondering why I'm not upgrading Bertrand to a 5-star, or even in this case really have to consider whether or not I want to upgrade Renri to a 5-star, there's a reason for that, because we still know that even though chance can come every month, you do have to make sure you have them just in case, for 2 reasons. Just in case you hit a 4.5 that you need to instantly upgrade to a 5-star, or in the case where we're going to be farming for the 5 treatises and you need to have the 5 chance on hand to upgrade them. So for those who are debating who to upgrade, I know a lot of questions have come on this channel as to who to upgrade. You really have to consider how useful that unit is, as opposed to just really wanting to upgrade a character, either for waifu reasons or even DPS reasons. Oh, I remember, have to upgrade AS Seal as well as his sister AS Shannon. That will round out the 8 units I need. And when you say I need, they would actually be extreme improvements over the units I currently have. I mean, I haven't even upgraded AS Nikkei to 5-star from her 4-star version, but I'm planning to eventually use AS Leclerc as my water DPS, and of course AS Foreign will also be water DPS, doubling as Pierce Zone if needed, right? Since I have AS Annabelle now, that should be enough for my water team. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.